So the day has come when I am finally planting tomatoes out. It's the 9th of June, and they have been growing in that little greenhouse for the past month and a half, I think. Dzień dobry. A month and a half. So not long, because I sowed them very late in the season. But I'm quite happy I did, because there's no point in sowing them any earlier. Because we had frost in mid-May, and that damaged quite a few of the plants actually, and young trees. So I was very happy I didn't plant them any earlier. And now this is a total experiment. I haven't even heard of that. I haven't even read about it or anything. The idea came about out of necessity, because we have the earth here is shit. I mean, it's clay that sticks to the spade so much that it doesn't want to fall off it. So you can imagine. I mean, I wanted to prepare a bed for cucumbers here from that very clay and mix it up with some stuff, but I couldn't. It's just rock solid. Now after the rain, maybe it's softer. I'm still wondering whether to plant cucumbers here or not. I'll see. But we had plenty of straw bales, because my lovely partner and I have got some in the depths of winter. I think it was February we got them, and we kept them in a pile outside, so they got all soaked. And then I transferred them here about, 3 weeks ago probably, and they stayed in the rain. And they're well wet, because we had a storm yesterday, or it was the day before yesterday. I was quite glad I didn't plant them out then. We have a week of storms coming, so that will be interesting. But I've got to plant them out one day or another. So what I'm doing basically, I thought I'd keep the strings on, but I can't. We thought I could do it. I could cut holes out. You know, it looks very good on paper. Just simply cut holes out in the bales. Can't be done. I mean, my hand ached after like 2 seconds. So I've decided to remove the strings and basically push the straw around a bit and take out bits of it, fill in the holes that are there anyway, because you can never put them tightly enough, and make holes deep enough for the plants to go in. I'll show you maybe. So quite deep, punching a hole, that's that. Don't know if you can show that. And then there'll be another one here, because I've got too many plants. Nobody's going to buy them, because I don't even know what I've got. Well, I was thinking about selling the tomato plants, but then I thought, well, I've labelled them, but it was rushed. I didn't label them correctly. I know I've got some interesting varieties there. I'm not sure if people here would be interested in them, so I might as well plant them out, and we'll just have a tomato season. We might do a tomato throwing competition later on in the summer. That would be good, wouldn't it? Like they do in Spain. I love Spain. Oh! I'd love to be there now. Anyway, these are the 2 holes. We'll move on to the next bale. Make another 2 here. So see, I'm locking the holes here, just making it all nice and even. You can tell it looks quite good. Actually, the planting bit is the easiest bit. It's this bit, that's the most difficult. but not that bad. I think I prefer it to the till method and digging a patch of land and taking the weeds out. I prefer that. I prefer carrying things in a wheelbarrow and placing them on the ground rather than digging into the ground. First, I believe the not disturbing method is much better for everything. Look, this is almost composted. This is really nice stuff. I would like to grow in here. Look, looks like manure almost. I'm not sure if this will be good for them. One thing I know is it will lock moisture in, which should be good for tomatoes because they are water hungry, aren't they? But apart from that, I just don't know. So it's a total experiment. Let's hope it pays off. And that's the only thing we can afford at the minute. I mean, even buying the compost to fill the holes is an expensive thing. 2, 4, 6. I do 10 each time because I don't want to do too much of the same job. I get bored. And then I'll do some planting and then I'll again prepare 10 holes for that's for 10 tomatoes. Like tomato plants. Okay, one more hole here. What happened there? Oh, you walked on it.
No, it was like this.
Tell you what, these Santa's helpers, aren't they? Little elves around the garden. It's best when they don't appear. It's probably the first time they see my face as well. Because I've never, I mean, I was always behind the camera. God knows what this movie is going to look like. You know.
Horrible.
Unskilled labourer.
Horrid.
Yes, at times it's not that easy. I mean, this one in particular is so dense that it's almost impossible to tear the straw out of it. Well, I'll have to do it somehow. And as I'm going, I'm evening up the bales because they're up and down. So I'm taking the straw here and maybe putting some there. See, there was a bit of a trench there.
Rat!
Hey! That wasn't funny. You know I'm scared of rodents. I mean, I hate them.
Well,
2, 4, 6, 8.
there's your savior coming.
2, 4, 6, 8. 2 more. It's hard work, it is. Right. But finally something is happening here. Because it was left like that for a while. And it didn't look like it was going to receive any plants anytime soon, but now it's all filling up. It is hard work. Give you that. Okay, this hole's ready. One more. And then we'll be on to planting, which is much more pleasant, isn't it? If somebody made these holes for me, I would appreciate, but the elves are not willing, are they? There we go, Bennu. Yes. Yes, you came to have a look, didn't you? You're curious as well. think it should be all right. Now what I'm doing next, that looks good, doesn't it? I mean, there's still a bit of a hole there, but when I do the other side, I'll fill it up. The next thing I do is I go to a pile of manure that I left on this side. Mind you, it's quite fresh, it's not very well composted. That's what I got from the neighbours, because her hens loved my garden and she felt she had to compensate the damages somehow, so I got a little bit of this. It's cow manure, not very well rotten. I left it here for about a month, so not for that long, but I think it'll be good enough. If it's not, tough, because I don't have anything else. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot about my hairstyle today. I didn't wash my hair on purpose. I mean, you wouldn't if you were about to work with manure, would you? Now, what I do is, with my beautiful hands,
That's the pleasant part.
that's the pleasant part, I put a handful of that in each hole and press it down. I mean, it's clean, cows eat grass. What the heck? And it doesn't smell anymore of anything, actually.
Actually, we could use it.
Oh no, I don't have enough for this plant. I need one more handful. Should have filled the bucket a bit more. So that's enough. The bucket is enough for 10 plants then. But I need to fill it up to the brim. Watch the flowers. The marigolds. They're just sprouting now. Okay, that will be enough. As I said, I'm doing 10 at a time. Well, you can tell all this area was wood chips. But after the last storm, look what happened. It got all damaged, and so we had to work in mud, unfortunately. Now the next step, now don't hold me to it, as I told you, it's just my idea of planting. I mean, I don't know if this is how people do it, and to be honest, I'll be curious to know what comes out of it. I put about one heaping spadeful of multi-purpose compost. There. To cover the manure so the roots don't get damaged. Press it down again. Tomatoes like to be planted deep, and ideally I would plant them even deeper if it wasn't so hard to make these holes, but hopefully that will be enough. But they like to go in deep. And now for the plants. So I take a plant. These are Ukrainian, what variety is that? Ukrainian purple tomato. I thought, what's the point of buying regular ones? Let's go mad. And we did. Look at this one. This one is all crooked. I'll put it in a deep hole. Because you know you can, if your tomatoes have grown really tall, you can plant them like that, horizontally. But this hole is quite deep, see? That'll be perfect for this tomato. But ideally I would like to start from the hole in the middle. It is a perfect time for planting them actually. They've just filled the containers. The plug holes. And now, with the compost, I go around it, around the plant, press it down, and then we need more compost. I don't know, I know that some gardeners are all clean when they plant things out. I get all dirty. Just can't do it, can't be bothered to. Can't be bothered to pay attention really. Right. It would be so good if this experiment was actually successful. I'd be happy because, to be honest, growing these seedlings, these plants, to the size they are now, was quite a bit of hard work. It wasn't all hard, but the sowing bit was sort of time consuming, then the thinning bit was time consuming, and then the watering bit, because you know, you'd have to really check the moisture in the containers every single evening and check the temperature in the greenhouse. You know, you had to remember about opening the window and the door so they get some airflow in there. So that was quite demanding. But look at them now. They're quite good, aren't they? Quite nice plants. I'm quite proud of them because when I saw some others that people are selling or planting, I thought, mine look quite good. And they are my second lot of tomatoes. But first here, I planted tomatoes once in England, and again I went mad. I had 100 tomatoes, I think, and we did have quite a few tomatoes. But then I remember, I think I did them 2 years in a row, and the second year I did them, some kind of a disease came and just wiped them all out before they even got to the fruiting stage. So that was really discouraging, and I stopped planting tomatoes until now, and I'm hoping that all this work will pay off. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's enough. We just need a bit of more straw on top. Just plant. Look at these. Very nice. They are really nice. They're about to flower, actually. As I said, perfect timing. I don't think you need to plant them any sooner. The weather hasn't been good. We had the coldest May in years, I think, if not ever. As I said, frost and really cold, windy weather, sort of wintry. I still had my winter jacket out most of the time. But now, today is very humid, sort of jungle style weather, and it feels right for them to be out. And I don't do, you know, some people carry their tomatoes out of the greenhouse for a few hours just to make them get used to the outside conditions and so on and so forth. I just couldn't deal with that, so I'd rather wait for the weather to be right to stick them out. These are a bit thinner, but I will water them. I mean, last year I didn't show you this, but last year as we got to the field, I showed you the cutting of the grass bit, we cut a lot of nettles from the field because it was just wild. There were nettles all around. So as we cut them, I put them in big barrels, filled the barrels with water and left the nettles to rot. So I've got plenty of natural fertilizer to use on tomatoes, cucumbers and pumpkins that I'll be planting out later on. I'll show you. I'll plant these. I'll plant the cucumbers, pumpkins in different ways, so I've got some kind of a comparison. Because that's always good, isn't it? It's good to know if you could have done things differently. 2 more, and we've run out of compost, so we need to go and get some. But hopefully this is a nice little video for everybody to enjoy and maybe get inspired by. But that's how I did it this year, and it's not to say that I'll do it completely differently next year. We'll see how it goes. If it's worth it, I'll continue with it because I actually quite like this method. But if it doesn't work, we'll tweak it.